Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Today is International Women's Day, a day first celebrated back at the beginning of the 20th century in the States, and then it spread to Europe. The role of women in the Russian Revolution of 1917 started on International Women's Day protest there. It's been a day when we have tried to move forward the progress towards the full equality of women in society, but we've a long way to go yet. And the slogan for this particular year is Embrace Equity. Equity is different, this is what's being said, from equality. And the way it's described is by a little cartoon in which we imagine three people, a man and a young girl and someone in a wheelchair, all trying to look over a fence at a game of cricket or football. And in order to make it equal, to create equality, you would give each of them a box to stand on. So the man would stand on a box which he didn't really need because he could see over anyway. The young girl could stand on the box and just see when she couldn't see before because the fence was too high. And the disabled person couldn't get on the box at all. And the point being made is that although what was provided for each of them was perfectly fair, they were all given the same opportunity, they couldn't use that opportunity because the girl really needed two boxes and the person in the wheelchair needed a ramp. And so equity is seen as providing the means by which women and other marginalised groups can become more equal. By recognising that their needs are different. So that, for example, women in developing countries, increasingly, it is almost now universal actually, that girls and boys have exactly the same access to primary education. There is no, generally speaking now, in any country, there is no difference in their access to primary education. And so you could say, well, that's fine, we've got there, but of course we haven't got there because all the history, all the cultural expectations that women's role is really about bringing up children and that they don't have the same right to engage in all the sort of public activities that men do. Those prejudices, those cultural historical differences between men and women still pertain, and it's those that need to be dealt with. Not just the outward application of fair laws and fair provision of resources, but dealing in a way that is described as equitable with these hindrances to women's growth. And so I just thought that was a really interesting way of seeing the progress of the movement towards the full liberation of women and other similar groups. That just to say, well, we're providing equally for everybody, so what more is needed? The answer is a lot more is needed. The change of attitudes, the starting blocks are different from the men and women, and so we need to recognise that women generally need an equitable approach to their situation, and just providing what seems to be fair and equal isn't enough.